Here with my friend Dan Fleyshman. So really excited, Dan. I've been wanting to have this talk with you, and thank you for being on my podcast. And for those of you that might not know you, you're an expert in marketing. So you were at Driven last year, and you're going to be at the boot camp. So can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do and how you started?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I trademarked the catchphrase, "Who's your daddy?"
Yeah.
For over 300 products. By 18, we'd already done a couple million in revenue. By 19, licensed it out for $9.5 million to Starter Apparel. And then by 22, we're almost 8 figures in revenue and decided to take it public on the stock market. So when we were 23, we went public, became the youngest owner of a publicly traded company in history to launch an energy drink under the same brand name. The next 4 years, I don't really remember. I got us into 55,000 retail stores in America, and I just sold the drink over and over and over. That was my whole focus in life. Then, after 4 years of that, so on the 10-year anniversary, I resigned so I could put another feather in my cap, and I started an online poker site. This is right before social media was really getting going. So I signed Dan Bilzerian, DJ Steve Aoki, Playboy Playmates, Poker Pros, and built, within 10 months, the third biggest poker brand in the world. Did that for a while, and then boom, online poker got shut down in America. All of a sudden, my company was closed. I willingly closed it, but my competitors were all closed down, and I wasn't sure what was the next plan. And so I didn't want to keep it going just overseas, because America was such an important thing to me. So I paid back 43,000 people so I could sleep at night, because my competitors didn't pay anybody back. So from that, I decided I never wanted to have all my eggs in one basket again, and I became an angel investor and started a social media agency. So since then, I've invested in over 36 companies, and my social media agency, we spend around $60 million for brands with influencers. And then my main passion is my charity. We make backpacks for the homeless with 150 emergency supply items inside, and we've been doing that for 8 years. That's kind of my life in a fast forward nutshell.
So when you took the company public, you made a lot of money right there, and you were like 18.
Yeah. We were 23 when we went public.
23.
Yeah.
And then that money you lost it, or when all that happened?
No, I lost a lot of money when online poker got shut down. From the public company, I didn't lose it.
Yeah.
And now the company I just resigned because it was time. I did the same brand for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I felt like, I loved poker, so I wanted to start a poker site.
And you're really young. Well, I mean, we're relatively young. I'm 36, you're 38, so we're really close in age. So I respect that a lot, and you're helping a lot of people that have a huge following, like millions of followers. Like Ty Lopez is one. You've helped a lot of other people, but Ty Lopez is really cool. And when I met Ty, I related a lot to him because he kind of shocked the whole social media with his car, and I noticed like he's closer to my age, and then he did the Lamborghini in my garage.
In my garage, yeah.
Did you have anything? Did he have anything to do with that, or did you know him back then?
I knew him. I've known him for 11, 12 years before social media existed. I've known him. That ad is actually the most watched ad of all time. 1.6 billion minutes watched.
Really?
Like Ty is the #1 YouTube ad spender ever, and that ad was viral. Plus, spent a bunch of money on it. It's amazing. So, I had nothing to do with that commercial. All I did was help amplify later. So when we wanted to build an Instagram following, we were using great content that he had, promoting it across hundreds and hundreds, and then thousands of accounts about him. At the same time, he was running contests, giving away cars, giving away iPads, giving away money, and that helped build his following to the stratosphere.
Do contests still work good?
Oh yeah, sure. So there's different forms of contest. One type of contest is one you can do on your own page.
Yeah.
Where you're just essentially giving your fans something, but they can't do it in exchange for money or a task. It's illegal for them to have to pay to be a part of a contest because that becomes a lottery. So the safe version is, and the free version is, all they have to do is tag the most friends, or follow this other account, or apply for this email address, email list, for example. They can take a step or an action, but it can't be something that costs them any money. So if you, Albert, say, hey, I'm going to give away 3 iPads today, all you guys got to do is tag the most friends by 5 p.m. I'm going to pick 3 winners. That works, right? The other types of contests are what's called a loop giveaway. So like we're doing one with Dan Bilzerian right now, and you see him posting this contest. I'm giving away $25,000 in cash, donating tens of thousands of dollars to charity. I'm going to pick a bunch of winners, and I'm giving away 10 iPhone 11s. All you guys got to do is go follow all these people. You're seeing more and more of these loop giveaways that the Kardashians are doing. Jake Paul just did one. Bilzerian's doing right now, where it causes people to gain a lot of followers really quickly. But you on your own, if you're watching out there and you've got 2,000 followers or 20,000 followers or 200,000 followers, you can give stuff away for free to your fans. It can be an ebook, it can be books, it can be iPads, it can be money, it could be something or an experience or a phone call with you. It doesn't have to be something expensive, and that will cause a lot of engagement because people like free stuff. If you ever go to a stadium or go to a basketball game and people are literally elbowing and fighting for a free t-shirt, like they're fighting each other in the stands for a free t-shirt that they're never going to wear. They just like free stuff.
Yeah. So, for example, one thing that works for me very well is when I tell people I'll give you a free 1 hour coaching session.
Sure.
Tag as many people, but I don't know how good I'm doing it. But they do tag a lot of people, and then I told them we'll tag each person separately. Is that better than tagging like a bunch of people at once?
Just tag as many as they can.
It's the same? So
because what you're hoping for is, one, you're getting more engagement.
Yeah.
Two, you're hoping those people that they tag want to start following you because either they like your account, they see cool cars, family, house, business, they see the Albert life. You're hoping that they follow you because of that.
Yeah.
But two, they're getting a respected situation of why they should follow you because their friend tagged them.
Yeah.
The same reason you go see a movie is your friend tells you about the movie. If your friend tags you, say, hey, go follow Dan Fleyshman or go follow Albert, like they're more inclined to follow because they're the ones that tag them.
Yeah. What I noticed is when people tag people to follow an account, or like when people tag me, like how many people, like especially people with influence, you probably get, I mean, for example, yourself, you get tagged a lot, right?
Right.
Do you look at every page or how,
but we're not the clientele.
Yeah.
Meaning we're not the fan that they're looking for.
Yeah.
Do I look? Sometimes, especially if you tag me, I would look.
Yeah.
Like you tag me in the Wolf of Wall Street thing, I'm going to go look. You tag me in Lewis House, I'm going to go look. Like you tag me in something, I'm going to look because it's you.
Yeah.
If Billy G 12346 tags me, well, I don't know Billy G. If Billy Jean tagged me, I would do it.
Yeah.
If Billy G, the random kid in Alabama, tags me, I'm probably not going to look because it's a respect thing. I'm looking because Albert did it or Billy Jean did it, right? The other thing you can do is have more than one winner. If you have 3 winners of 20 minutes each with you, you're going to convert higher than one winner of 1 hour because the fans think they have more of a chance.
Yeah.
So you always want to give away 3 iPads or $300, $100 at a time, or 3 20-minute sessions, not one.
So people go crazy over $100 as the same as like for an iPad, you think?
So here's the thing. So Ty Lopez, for 17 weeks, he gave away a car every Friday, a Ford truck every single Friday, right? Or Ford, any Ford you wanted.
Yeah.
And every time I was like, dude, this is amazing and it's great for press, but you're going to convert better giving away 10 people $100 each. And we argued and we went back and forth and he wanted to test it. I was like, look, I want you to the same day, next Friday, do 10 people $100 each, see what happens. Instead of 12,000 comments, he got 64,000 comments. It was 5 times bigger. And the reason is people don't believe they're going to get a car. Even though Ty really gave away a car and we would go to the dealership together, I saw the car, I saw the winner, like it was very, very real for 17 weeks. The people, the fans following from Albuquerque, New Mexico and Guadalajara, they don't believe they're going to win a car from Ty Lopez, right? They do believe that he'll PayPal them $100 or Cash App them $100. And they believe it because there's 10 winners, they're much more likely to believe it than one. They think it might be his nephew who got it, right?
Yeah. That's awesome. So how do the algorithms work though? Like, cause like let's say I have 100 and something thousand followers. When I make a post, I notice that my engagement isn't that great, and I'm sure many people have that problem. Do the algorithms block you, or is there some fake followers that I need to get off my Instagram, or how does that work?
Yeah, so everybody's impacted by the algorithm. And the problem is the algorithm changes quite often.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say today while we're sitting here, by the time I get downstairs, it might have changed. However, the best thing you can do is just create good content, make good captions, and that part will serve itself. However, if you use certain keywords, the algorithm will block you. If you say the word discount code, sale, link in bio, anything that takes away from Instagram, they hate you. Because they want you to spend money to do those things. They want you to spend money to send people away from Instagram or to your business. They don't want you to make money.
Yeah.
They want you to spend money. So anytime you use certain keywords like link in bio or sale or discount code, etc., that's going to hurt your algorithm even more.
Is there any courses or any place where we could get all those secrets so that we know exactly what to do? Or
so I have a course that's learnpersonalbranding.com. That tells, I have 77 videos, and a bunch of them are about the algorithm and social media and how to do swipe ups, how to do stories, how to do content, etc. There's people that are really good at how to fight the algorithm. There's a guy named Mark Lack who's really good at it. He's super good at it. There's Zach Folkman and Chase Hero. They have a good one together. There's some good content out there, but also if you look on YouTube, you can find a lot of free content as well.
Yeah.
You just make sure that you listen to people that you respect.
Yeah.
Meaning, if that Billy G guy, 1446 in Alabama, does a video, or Billy Jean in San Diego that does 600 million views does a video, who are you going to watch, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times people listen to this person when they should only be listening to people that are doing big revenue in the space that you're in. A lot of times people are looking at, and the reason you're seeing so much backlash against the fake entrepreneurs or the people that are just doing fake coaching, I nicknamed them 19-year-old life coaches. Like, they haven't lived life yet.
Yeah.
You can filter that out by just looking at, like, wow, Andy Frisella, well, he's got a $300 million company. I should listen to him. Ed Milet, that guy's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I should listen to him.
Yeah.
Albert's got a successful mortgage business. I should listen to him, right? Listen to the people that are actually doing real business, and it's very easy to tell. There's a difference between Albert telling you that he's doing X amount of revenue or X amount of business, or seeing his life, his office, his staff. That's a real thing. When you see somebody that has a one-man band and they don't have any staff and they don't have the revenue and they're doing, like, that's a much different person to listen to than the Andy Frisellas and Ed Milets of the world.
Yeah. Or like, for example, a lot of people make fun of my Ferraris and they're like, oh, he's faking his Ferrari, or he's faking it. But they've been saying that I've been faking it for like 5-6 years.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to fake it for 6 years. And then you get another Ferrari, then you keep moving up and you keep just showing with, like my dad told me, let your results speak for themselves and just mind your own and keep moving up. And that's what I did. And it worked really good in real estate and mortgage, because I said, you know what? How do I shock the industry? Do something different than the Bank of Americas, all these Coldwell Bankers, all these famous big real estate and mortgage companies and bankers. They don't do any crazy stuff like Ferraris and that. So I saw Ty Lopez, and I said, wow, like he did that in for his personal brand. Let me just do that for my business. And then kind of like how Patrick Bet-David is building his brand to build PHP, his company, and other people are building, like Brad Lee is building Lightspeed, but he's kind of like, you're kind of like the puppet, kind of like the promoter. Is that the right way to do it?
Yes. So there's always going to be haters no matter what. If you donated $100,000 to charity today, that same person will be like, well, he didn't donate $104,000. That guy's a jerk. No matter what you do, literally no matter what you do, people complain. I think it was a few weeks ago, Jeff Bezos donated $97.5 million to help homelessness. Do you know what all the articles said? Why didn't he donate $100 million?
Yeah.
Literally, that's the title. Like, can you know how mind-blowing that is? The guy donated $97.5 million to something, and people are complaining that he didn't round up $2.5 million. By the way, he could still donate more next year. He might donate $1 billion next year. What does it matter? He can donate $100 or $97 million. We should be ecstatic for him. No matter what you do, whether you have one Ferrari or you buy the Ferrari company, people are going to be like, he's faking it, or he's BS, or he's never done a mortgage before. That's not even his wife.
Yeah.
Like, they make up whatever they want to because they're making themselves feel better.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with you. So I've had this conversation, 6,000 times, because influencers, entrepreneurs, rich friends, people that are doing fitness, no matter what they're doing, they're always getting these haters and trolls talking crap about them nonstop. It doesn't matter what you do, they're going to do that anyways.
Yeah.
And you can't respond and fight it, because that's all they're looking for. Like, Becky462 is just hoping you respond to her. It doesn't matter that that's not true. It doesn't matter that that's actually your wife, that's actually your children, that's actually your office, that's actually your car. That doesn't matter to them.
Yeah.
They just want to feel something. They want that response because they feel bad themselves.
Yeah. And speaking of haters, like I know a lot of the people that hate are usually people that quit, that got fired, or that didn't make it in their careers, and they're hating. But these haters, what do you recommend for influencers to do with these haters? Because I'm sure, I mean, I know Ty has a shitload of haters, and do you have a lot of haters too? Like, what's the best way?
I don't know because I just block them all.
You block? Is that the best thing to do? Block him?
I don't even. I tell everybody the exact same thing. When you block, you delete them from the world. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
You're never gonna hear from them again. How can Becky346 get a hold of you ever again when she just has one Instagram or one Twitter or one LinkedIn or one Facebook? Like, she doesn't exist anymore. She's deleted from the earth.
But the crazy thing is that sometimes they create another account and they have all the time in the world.
Block them.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. There's literally nothing you can say to them. Nothing. If you wired them $10,000, they would still hate on you. Nothing they can say.
So the whole haters are promoters. You'd rather just get rid of them? They're not really
block
promoters.
them forever.
Yeah.
There's some people that like it. Like Gary Vee, he wants to argue with them. He wants to convert them to somebody. He wants to convert them to a fan. It's completely a time waste because no matter whatever happens, they were still a troll.
Yeah.
No matter whatever happens, it's upset for themselves. Right?
Yeah.
There is no rhyme or reason. You just block and delete them from the world.
Got it. So now about real followers and fake followers. I see a lot of I know we were talking about the I call them Instapreneurs.
Yeah.
Because they're on Instagram and they say they're millionaires on Instagram. They're gonna teach you how to be millionaires, but then they drive like a Honda Civic or they live with their parents or in the garage. But what about people that have a lot of fake followers and then you could buy comments, links, and views and all that? Can you buy all of those?
You can buy anything.
Really?
The problem for people is what they don't understand is when you buy fake followers, it actually crushes and hurts your engagement so much. Here's why. So let's say you have a real 20,000 followers, right? And then you buy 80,000 fakes. Well, the algorithm works based on the 20,000 real ones because the 80,000 will never engage. So if you're a real 20,000, let's say you have a 3% engagement rate, so 600 people go and like and comment on stuff.
Yeah.
Well, normally that would be really good for a 20,000 person account. You have a 100,000 follower account. So when those 600 people try to like and comment, those people won't even see it because Instagram's looking at the fact that 600 people want to react on a 100,000 person account, 0.6%, not 3%. So now your engagement gets suppressed because Instagram thinks that post sucks.
Yeah.
So people that are buying these fake followers for vanity, a vanity metric they think is going to help them, actually is terrible. Like terrible. It totally hurts their engagement.
Yeah. So it's better just to keep building it organically, even though it's going to take a lot longer.
I'm spending millions and millions of dollars a month paying influencers for posts, right? I would rather pay an influencer that has 100,000 followers and 3% engagement than 2 million followers and 0.5% every single time. Yeah. I'm not looking at the vanity number. I'm looking at what's going to actually happen. And the person with 100,000 that's teaching fitness or teaching real estate or teaching about health or cooking or beauty or makeup, I want that 100,000 person way more than the 2 million follower person because their engagement's way higher. Yeah. If the 2 million person happens to have all real followers, well, then they're 1 in a million.
So like, let's say if like the Kardashians charge a fee to give you a shout out, that would be a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, I've spent $18 million with the Kardashians the last 2 years. I mean, their engagement's insane. Their engagement rate is small based on their accounts because their accounts have 115 million followers on it. Yeah. But I'll take a small engagement on a 115 million follower account. Yeah. That's a rare scenario, and they're such super celebrities that it's different. Also, when they post products, it's going to go on multiple platforms, and they're going to get press about it. And every other celebrity business person and press in the world follows them. That's why they've been one of my easiest accounts to promote through, because even though the cost is 6 figures for one post from them, it's worth it when you have millions and millions and millions of guaranteed people seeing it.
Yeah, but are their followers more like younger girls that look up to them, or maybe perverted men?
All of the above.
Or is it?
It's everybody.
They have everything. So it's just like
when you start to get into 100 million. I mean, when you start to get anything over 10 million plus, 5 million plus, you have everything. Mm-hmm. You can't have a niche when you have 10 million plus, right? Yeah. So even if you're like normally a cooking account or a makeup account, it's all just makeup people. Are all no. Once you start to get into those millions and millions and millions of people, you're starting to get to the masses. You're starting to get to mainstream.
Yeah. Got it. Now, one of the things that I started doing was with Grant and with like Tony Robbins. I started kind of thinking about masterminding with their audiences, and then I said, you know what? how am I different than like a Tony Robbins or a Grant Cardone? And I said, well, they're white men, and they're above their 60s. I'm in my 30s, and I'm Hispanic. So instead of trying to compete or trying to be like a Grant Cardone or a Tony Robbins, how can I be different? And I said, well, there's a huge Latino audience. So what if I just focus on my audience and like check all the metrics? And then I noticed that 90% of the people that go to Driven, because then we have the Driven event, 90% were Latino millennials.
There you go.
And men.
They answered it for you.
Yeah. So I said, because I'm not gonna try to be a Lewis House, tall, handsome white man. Like, I should just be like the Albert, the Mexican millennial guy that all Mexican men want to be like, right?
Exactly. So the people voted for you. They answered the question for you because they showed up. When you go to Driven and there's 1,000, 2,000 people there, and if X% are Latino, they answered it for you. That's who likes it. That's who likes your content. That's who's willing to pay to show up, and they're there. They're your supporters.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Expand on that, and any other followers you get that are white, African American, Asian, rainbow color, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Those people are still going to come, but you focus your marketing on what has proven to you. The customers vote with their wallets.
Yeah.
I say this every single time. The customer votes with their wallets. It's easy for your grandma to say, I'm going to buy 4 of those shirts, or I'm going to buy 4 tickets to Driven, until they actually have to pull out a credit card.
Yeah.
Those people, the 1,000, 2,000 people that show up to your events, they pulled out a credit card and they spent time to come there. They spent the time and energy to be there. They showed you who is your audience. Spend more on that.
So listen
Get
to
as many of that as you can.
Listen to the wallet.
Listen to the wallet.
Now, one thing that I've been doing, and I want to ask you for your advice on this, is like, for example, I'll target a Grant Cardone.
Yep.
But on when you select the people that you want to target, I select like the millennial age group. I select men, and then I select the cities, the top cities where I have offices, where I think I'm gonna get the best results. I just check the metrics and I just kind of pick whatever's not the top.
Yep.
And then what I've gotten are responses from people that bought Driven tickets and paid CEO tickets that are like $5,000, or bought coachings that are like $15,000. They tell me, hey, you know what? I found out about you because of Grant. However, I started liking you better because I related more with you because you're younger and you're a Latino.
Sure.
And then they start spreading the word, and it's just magical how it just starts spreading. So I've been spending money on ads and targeting people like that.
So those people, now you have to figure out how to make them take their word of mouth into social marketing for you. So coming up with contests for Driven, for example, where they have to post about Driven, and in exchange, you're going to give out VIP tickets, or you're going to give out cash, or you're going to give out special backstage access. Like, do things like that. Getting those people that have already shown you that they care about you. Now, having them post on Instagram stories, having them post on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. You don't care what platform they do it on. You want them talking about you as a personal brand and Driven as a conference. And because of those things, both of them tie in together. Whether you get more tickets or revenue for Driven, those people now know about you because you're on the face of the flyer. Whether they come to you and they get into your world, you can now promote Driven to them, right?
Yeah.
So you just want those people talking about you.
Yeah. Now, speaking of social media and marketing, do you think it's still a good time for people to start their Instagram account and their Facebook account, or is it too late because we didn't catch the trend early enough? Like, for example, myself, I got 100 and something thousand followers. I just got verified on Facebook and Instagram a month ago. But then I see people that have like 10 million followers and 5 million followers, and they've been verified for over a year or years. I think I'm still kind of like, I caught it at a good time. But what about people that haven't started yet, like dinosaurs? Is it still time, or is TikTok the next thing, or what should people do right now?
You should be on absolutely every social media platform, all the main ones.
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Why? Free, 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 and free. Not being on these platforms is insanity.
Yeah.
Because look, even with only 100,000, you say only, it's a lot, but only 100,000, you're still able to convert that into revenue, ticket sales, podcasts, books, events. Like, stuff happens based on that. it's never too late to join social media because there's never a cost to it.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter if you just want to get into acting now. Clint Eastwood's probably 70 or 80 years old, and Al Pacino's 70 years old. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You would still go into acting, right? Because you still want to be an actor. Many music artists are 60, 70, 80 years old or have passed away. Doesn't mean you don't go become a music artist, right?
Yeah.
Just because Elvis Presley is gone doesn't mean you can't become a guitarist now. So social media is the exact same way. It's not going anywhere. So you have to jump in, and you want to put your name in the ground for real estate. You want to own your social media names across every social media platform. And maybe you only like Instagram, or you only like TikTok, or you only like Facebook. Create your content for one platform and then repurpose that exact same video and caption on all the other platforms to make it easier for yourself.
Yeah, speaking of social media lasting, so you think we're still a good 10 more years, 20 more years that social media is going to be here to stay?
There's nowhere for it to go because the companies are too rich.
Yeah.
Where is Instagram and Facebook going to go? Facebook's one of the biggest companies in the history of the world. They're not slowing down. They're making billions of dollars of net profit per quarter. Where are they going to go? Zuckerberg's too young.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere. He owns this little company called Instagram. So their next platform, they're not going anywhere. They're funded forever. They also own this other company called WhatsApp. They're not going anywhere. So your three of your top 7 biggest, they're never going anywhere. They're infinitely funded.
Yeah.
You look at Snapchat. I didn't even mention that when I said my list because Snapchat, it's not a very functional platform. It's gorgeous and fast, but it's meant for kids, and it's ephemeral content that disappears, and it's really hard to do a lot of stuff on there. Can you post on there? You can. It's just not that necessary. The point is, there may not be another TikTok anytime soon, right? There may not be another big platform anytime soon because look at the money it takes to battle with these guys.
Yeah.
The reason TikTok stood out is they have infinite money behind them. There's an Asian company that owns them that has bajillions of dollars.
Okay.
They were able to spend zillions of dollars in marketing in the U.S. They paid tons of celebrities. They were spending 12 to 25 million a month just with my friends' agencies earlier this year to build TikTok. Like, TikTok has so much money, that's why they stood out. And it's a great platform.
Yeah.
But we talk about TikTok and we don't talk about Snapchat.
Yeah.
Snapchat's got billions of dollars. They just don't care about their people.
Yeah.
They have a founder that's just not cool with the people. He's not cool with marketing. He doesn't understand. He's trying to be something that he's not.
Yeah, TikTok. So I just opened the TikTok account. I told Danny and Brian, hey, just open up an account and let's start it. I mean, it's free. We have nothing to lose. If you're verified on the other platforms, is it easier to get verified on TikTok?
Yeah. So Casey Adams. He actually has a TikTok agency.
Yeah.
He can get you verified on there.
Casey Adams.
Yeah.
Cool. And what's different from TikTok compared to Instagram?
So TikTok is still a younger audience, but when I say that, everybody thinks, okay, it's only young kids on there. There's over 1 billion users on TikTok already. They're at like 1.4 billion. That means like 1/3 of the free world that has an internet device has TikTok. Think about that for a second. That's insanity. So my wife, on her like 3rd or 4th post, she only had a couple thousand followers. One of her videos has 1.6 million views. That's insane. That'll never happen on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Unless, like Twitter, it has to be like some viral news story to go crazy.
Yeah.
Or a viral meme or something. Yeah. On TikTok, she made a video that I filmed of her standing outside touching a wall. 1.6 million views. You're in a rare moment in time where like an account with a couple thousand followers can do that.
Yeah.
So it's a very fun platform. It's meant for short form content. Don't put a 4-minute video on there, right? But you see Gary Vee, he's got millions of followers on there already doing short form content, and then he mixes in his long form speeches.
So how many seconds would you say for content on TikTok?
I mean, really, if you could keep it to 10 to 15 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you can keep it short, you're dealing with people that are looking for fast.
So that's like stories.
Yeah.
And that's
you can do longer content. It won't go viral. It can't go viral. That's not how that platform works.
Got it.
And also make sure to use the hashtags properly. Hashtags are really important there.
How do you know what hashtags to use?
So there's a trending thing. One of the buttons at the bottom, it shows you what the trending hashtags are. Look at trending hashtags that are applicable to your post and use those.
Are hashtags still important for Instagram?
Yeah, it's a free roll. The risk is nothing.
Yeah.
So, but what problem is people use hashtags and they get too cute. The hashtag is like, I write hashtag Albert's patio.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's searching Albert's patio as a hashtag, right? We're here, but nobody's actually, that's not a hashtag people search.
Yeah.
Hashtag love Friday lunches. Well, there's nobody in anywhere in the world searching the hashtag Love Friday Lunches, right? They search the hashtag lunch or TGIF or Friday, or salad or pizza. They search words that are important or fun for them, but they don't search Albert's Patio or I love. Whenever you make a long form hashtag, literally nobody's searching it. Yeah. And you can check how many people are searching it by writing the hashtag, like for example on Instagram, go to where it says tags, write out a word like pizza, and you'll see a bazillion views, right, for those hashtags. But if you write pizza on Fridays, it's going to have none. It's going to have like a couple thousand, right?
Yeah.
So look at hashtags and only use hashtags that are actually relevant to what people are searching for.
Yeah. Now, does TikTok also have these algorithms?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
TikTok algorithm is, but it's not hurtful. It's the other way. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
The TikTok algorithm is to help expand things. It's not to help restrict things.
Yeah. And now what about verifications? Are verifications important for Instagram, Facebook? How crucial is that to be really successful?
So verifications are always useful because, one, the platforms prefer it. If you're verified, it's going to show your content to more people, and you'll have more functionality in your backend, so you'll be able to use and do more things. It also, for fans, they like it too because they look at you as a more respected character. If you're verified, is it life-changing or mandatory? No. I mean, most people aren't going to get it, so I don't want to say it's that crucial. It's just very useful.
Yeah, because I felt when I wasn't verified, I'm like, man, like fuck. Like I felt like I almost felt like I was nothing on social media, and I kept like thinking like I need to get verified, and once I got verified, it's kind of cool because you have the check mark, and I noticed that when I message other influencers, they respond to me now because they see the check mark.
And also the way the platform works is if you message from a verified account, it's going to be at the top of their DMs.
Wow. So you don't go to spam.
No.
So that might be the reason why people are answering now.
Yeah.
Now, I know we talked about it before we got on camera about events. Are events like driven? Everybody has events now. Are those really important if you want to be an influencer and if for whatever reason? Yeah.
So attending events or throwing events are both very useful. I've thrown elevator nights for free for 6 years now.
Yeah.
We've thrown 37 elevator nights.
And by the way, I ask you because you're probably the number one most connected person I know. You know everybody. I don't think there's nobody that's top influencer that you don't know. Like whenever I need to get a hold of somebody, I'm always say, hey Dan, do you know this guy? And you know everybody, and you throw events all the time. And I don't know how you do it because you put out these events like constantly, and you have the top most requested speakers and influencers. How do you do that?
So a lot of times what happens is people try to provide value to really rich people and don't realize those rich people don't need a coffee or for you to pick their brain, right? Like people say, oh, I want to buy you a coffee. Albert doesn't want a coffee, right? You can buy coffee. But Albert does like access and events and VIP things because if I bought you a present, not very many presents that would really impress you, right? Because you have your own stuff. You got millions of dollars. You have access to anything you want, right? But if I say, hey, Albert, will you come speak at my event? I've got 1,000 entrepreneurs here. Or, hey, Albert, I'm doing a 100-person rare thing at a mansion. Or, hey, Albert, I'm having a dinner with 20 rich guys and girls. Will you come to my dinner? Like, that's access. It's hard to pay for cool, right?
Yeah.
So if I can provide access to people, it makes them want to flip it and reverse it to me. And so I do that at scale. I throw events all the time. I'm going to lots of these exclusive related things, and I invite people to build relationships.
Yeah.
So I invite these business people and I introduce them to these business people, and I invite these investors and I introduce them to these entrepreneurs. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
The business people want to meet the other business people. The investors want to find more companies to invest in. The entrepreneurs really want to find more money.
Yeah.
So I'm always introducing people, and that's how my relationships keep growing.
Is this one of the secrets for you being only 38 and being really, really successful, that you're connected with a bunch of really powerful people?
Yeah, my superpower is my phone book.
Yeah.
My contacts and my relationships are my superpower because I can fast forward the process for anything. Oh, you want to go public? Oh, use this investment banker. Oh, you need a warehouse? Oh, use this Minimus in Los Angeles. They'll do it for you. Oh, you need a web designer? Yo, use this guy. Oh, you need a lawyer? Use this lawyer. Oh, you need a patent lawyer? That's a different lawyer. Like anything anybody needs in the business world space, I have somebody right away. That's my superpower because I can fast forward. If we wanted to start pottedplants.com, we could launch this today while we're sitting here doing the podcast and be live and have Facebook ads running, e-commerce, social media accounts set up, warehouse, order from Alibaba. I know which guy to do this, who will do the Facebook ads, who our affiliates are going to be, blah, blah, who's going to do our shipping, who's going to do our processing. Like, I know all the answers. Everything I just said as a name, I thought of, boom, a trigger name of who's going to do it for us to launch pottedplants.com today. And so anybody else that wants to start pottedplants.com, it takes them 6 months or never because they overthink and they don't know who to go to. I know how to get to all these people really, really fast.
Yeah, and I know events, from personal experience, events cost a lot of money. And you put out events like I don't know, maybe you could tell me like every week or every month or twice a month, but from these events, do you make a lot of money doing the events, or is it more of like breaking even and just creating a bunch of connections that lead to more money?
Yeah, so elevator nights is free. So that costs me 6 figures a year to throw. I do that. I don't recommend that. You should charge for a ticket, or if you do make a free event, make it not as expensive as mine. I'm doing it because I have a social media agency. I have other things in my life. I want to invest in companies. So I'm willing to spend $400,000 or $500,000 a year to make my events free. I don't recommend that. It's not necessary. I have a monetized version where I have a $100,000 mastermind, which is already sold out. But those people, I have 100 people that paid $100,000 each for a mastermind. So I monetize this, but this is now free forever.
Yeah.
It's been free for 6 years, but now I'm like, well, I made a bunch of money from this mastermind. I can spend way more money keeping my free events even freer and bigger and cooler because I take revenue from here to pay for this. And so I recommend going to as many events as you can because the people you meet will help build your Rolodex. And I recommend, if you can throw an event, throw a niche event. Like if you love cryptocurrency or cannabis or e-commerce or real estate or whatever, throw a little event in your local town. It'll make you look like big time. Yeah,
I was doing the numbers like on my mind about your 100,000, because I'm familiar with that event. You told me about it, the $100,000 mastermind, and then you have 100 people. But you had a bunch, like you spoiled the shit out of these people. You had people that are really, really expensive. So I was doing the numbers and I'm like, man, this probably cost him more money than the money you collected from the people. Is that right?
Yeah, so the opening weekend we spent $2.1 million. And we're open about it because I'm not doing that business to generate revenue. We are generating a lot of revenue, obviously, because it's there's $10 million in revenue from that. However, I'm overdoing it because now it's going to be sold out forever, right? I already have a waiting list for the next year. And so I'm putting on a big production, a big show. I'm bringing in Kris Jenner and Mark Wahlberg and Magic Johnson and all these celebrities, Charles Barkley and Dennis Rodman. I'm bringing on so many, Tyga, Nick Cannon, Chris Tucker. I brought on so many celebrities that I didn't have to spend that much money. I did it because I want to put on a show. I want people to have an experience, and then that content creates people to want to continue to be a part of it for year after year after year. And so sometimes you have to think about the long game. Could I have made the same event and spent a couple $100,000? Absolutely. I could have got a hotel ballroom, thrown my event, got in 1 or 2 keynote speakers, and made $10 million this year.
Yeah.
I could have done that. In my mind, elevator nights being free for 6 years is a long-term play. Spending millions of dollars on an opening weekend when I don't have to, it's a long-term play. I'm in this for a long, long time, right? And I've been doing it for a long, long time. And so I'm not recommending people do this style. They should just be thinking about the fact that if they throw a live event, they don't need to get people to spend tens of thousands of dollars and sell 50 different times and 50 different things and make it like money the whole time. Because you want to do the event again and again and again. If you create a good experience and have good speakers at your events, people will come to you for life.
Yeah, because I see, I think I did it kind of right, and I'm sure I made a lot of mistakes. I'm always picking your brain on it.
I loved your event. It looked great. It looked great. It's one of the biggest crowds there is. There's almost 2,000 people there. You have great speakers. There's no fluff. Like, it's a good event. Like, I don't have anything to correct about your event, where normally I'm very critical. Your event, Driven, is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it leads to the Driven Bootcamp. It leads to these smaller ones where you can make a high-level version of it. And so just putting on a good show like you did, that's fantastic, right? Yeah, and I did something similar to you. Like, I wanted to invest money and make it different. I didn't want to do like like a average workshop or event. I wanted to have like DJ. I wanted to have the lighting, the best AV, the best the Ferraris on stage and awesome. Things like that. And then but the first year I had 500 people, then 1,000 people, the second one, and then 2,000 the third one. Now the first event, like maybe we're talking to an audience that
doesn't have all that money yet, and they're getting started, and they have a company. And what blew up all my companies, the mortgage guys, Ambiance Realty, was Driven.
Yep.
Creating that event, it increased my audience.
Same with me. The elevator nights is.
Yeah. But people that don't have that much money, what I did for the first event, I only had 500 people, and most of the tickets sold because of Grant Cardone. So what I did is I paid Grant his fee, and then he brought people in.
Right.
But then those people I converted, and a lot of people came to see me, the second one,
Yep.
and then I just kept adding value, so I spent money. But I did it different from the beginning. And I see a lot of these younger people on Instagram, everybody now is trying to do events. Everybody
Yes.
wants to do their event. But I find one of the mistakes that they do is they don't throw the right event. Like they just have like a normal event at a really ugly ballroom and kind of like that. Do you think if you want to be successful, do you have to kind of stand out?
So what's interesting is the people are going for an experience. They're going to meet people and then also listen to good content. So making the event easy access, so in making it at a venue that they want to go to, not making it multiple days because that's always a long struggle for people. For people that can't afford to throw a big production, you don't need to. My first elevator nights were in like venues, like a jewelry store. I did one at a car dealership. I did another one at a car dealership. The dealership gave it to me for free because I told them I'm going to bring some rich people to the room. They gave me the place for free. But the people that came loved it because it was a room full of Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces, right?
Yeah.
They ended up selling 2 cars because of the event. You can find venues, especially Monday through Thursday. Don't throw your events on a Friday or Saturday night when you're trying to throw a 50-person real estate event or a 50-person makeup event in your local town. Think about inviting people on a Monday through Thursday, talking to cool venues, because Monday through Thursday, they're slow anyway, right? You try to rent out a ballroom on a Friday or Saturday, it's freaking expensive because they're always booked. What about on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Not gonna be expensive. Going to a cool bar, a cool restaurant, a cool nightclub, like Billie Jean, his events last year was at a nightclub. It was awesome. They could, a ton of people in there. It's a 30,000 square foot nightclub. It's a different type of venue, but the nightclub wants those people in there because it's marketing for them. So thinking about venues that are not expensive, that are unique, like you said, and then also it doesn't have to be 500 people. Make an event for 50 people. Make it for 100 people. Make your tickets $0 to $100, $200. It doesn't have to be $1,000. Make it affordable. The things that come from it are huge because you start to meet all these people that want to come to so many people want to come to your event. High, medium, low, everybody.
Yeah. And what about when you boost your post? Should you target maybe, like for example myself that I'm Latino, should I target Mexico City? Should I target Colombia, Argentina, or is that, because I noticed that when like I'll target Argentina or Mexico, and for the same amount of money I'll get way more views than if I target Beverly Hills.
Sure. So that's because the value of the follower is different. You getting somebody from Colombia is much different because they're not going to ever spend money with you, right? Somebody, and the way that the algorithm works and the way that the ad platform works is they know the general income of the people in Colombia are much less than Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Right? So you're paying for what you're getting.
Okay.
That user, it doesn't mean you don't want them to see your content, but that user is not going to convert to somebody buying a Driven ticket because they live in Colombia or Argentina. Do you still want them to see your stuff? Of course you do. You want everybody to see your stuff, especially in your market. But a person in Beverly Hills that makes $64,000 a year can buy a ticket to Driven. Much different.
So we're here in Vegas, and it reminds me how not too long ago I came here and I met Brad Lee, founder and CEO of Lightspeed, and that's where I went and I recorded my virtual training academy. So this is called Driven Academy, and it's a platform where I virtually train you every single thing that I know. Like everything that I learned from Grant Cardone, Patrick Bet-David, Ty Lopez, Tim Grover, and Brad Lee himself, and thousands of books that I read. All the information that I got from seminars, workshops, self-improvement, everything that I've learned that allowed me to not get a couple Ferraris, get a Rolls Royce for my wife, live in Beverly Hills in a place where I pay $20,000 a month to live there because I want to be in that environment. All the friendships that I've created, everything, everything took a lot of work, but it was more of the knowledge that I needed. I needed the knowledge to know how to do it right and do it faster and not waste time. So all of that information that I've learned, investing in real estate. I opened 4 businesses. One of them is breaking 8 figures this year. That's in less than 6 years. I was able to pull this business to pull those numbers, 8 figures. All the other ones are doing 7 figures plus. Now, having said that, I want you guys to sign up to this Driven Academy, and it's going to show you everything that I know, and I'm going to be updating it every month. I'm going to put new content. The more I grow, the more I learn, the better relationships I create. I'm going to have all that information available for you on the Driven Academy, and you could log on from anywhere in the world, anytime, midnight, even when I'm not here anymore. When I pass my lifetime, you'll be able to access it forever. But good news is I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, so I'm going to be here and I'm going to be updating it every single month with brand new content. The richer, the wealthier I get, the more I want to help you, and all that information is going to be there available for you. And I have very good news for you. This is available for you for only $67 a month. It's a subscription, and cancel anytime. If you don't like it, cancel it. It's only $67 a month, and I do this because I want to make it affordable, even if you're just getting started.
So you want both? That's the answer.
Okay. Now, a few more things before we wrap up. Podcast. I didn't have a podcast. I wasn't planning on having a podcast, but I just see all these people that are successful. They have podcasts. So I said, well, whatever works, whatever successful people are doing, if it works, just copy it. So I said, well, I'm going to start my podcast. And then what people don't understand, though, is that I've spent millions of dollars to be able to get a Dan Fleyshman here to come to my house and do a podcast with me. David Goggins, like, he's not free. Like Patrick Bet-David, Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, and all these people. So obviously, like, I don't think people that are watching this are gonna be like, oh, cool, I'm gonna start a podcast and I'm gonna have Dan come over tomorrow, and then Ty Lopez is gonna come the next day. It's not gonna happen like that. But if somebody that's starting a podcast, well, first of all, is our podcast necessary right now? And if somebody was gonna start a podcast, how do they start a podcast and not be embarrassed of having like 5 viewers watching your videos?
Sure. So Gary Vee model's fantastic because he always talks about with Wine Library, he used to have 5 viewers and 12 viewers and 24 viewers. So you're all going to start somewhere. Not everybody needs a podcast. A lot of big speakers are telling you everybody needs a podcast. You don't all need a podcast because, one, there needs to be consumers. We need people to listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
2, you got to actually be an expert in the space or have the connections to build your podcast. 3, you may just not want to do the amount of work it takes to have a podcast. Now, if you fit all those requirements, the way to start a podcast is to actually get started.
Yeah.
Literally getting the equipment, which is not very expensive, choosing your location or travel to them. You're going to get a higher success rate when you want bigger people if you travel to them, because unless you're Albert, every podcast I do, they come to me because that's what I'm expecting them to do. Now, if I respect them, like Albert, I will go to their house or I'll go to their office and film it with them. In most people's cases, you want to make your situation where, 1, they can film with you, or 2, you can make it travel to come to them. The next thing is make a podcast that people actually care about. If you just make another podcast, listen, there's a zillion billion podcasts coming out. 2020 is going to have way more. You have to stand out. So make it a niche. If you can make it about makeup or about cannabis or about CBD or about camera equipment or about e-commerce or about plants, a gardening podcast with 20,000 listeners will get a higher ad rate than somebody with 200,000 on a general. Yeah. Because Home Depot and Lowe's will pay for that, right? So making your podcast niche to what you know about, what you like. And then how do you get guests? You got to ask a bunch of them. Yeah. Like, you're not going to just ask Dan or just ask Albert or just ask the Wolf of Wall Street or just ask Andy Frisella. You got to ask all of us, and you have to make it feel personalized. Otherwise, we know that you just copy and pasted it to all of us, right? Yeah.
And now when you're doing a podcast and you don't have any viewers on your podcast, and let's say, like, because I'm sure you get thousands of requests, hey Dan, can you be on my podcast? Yeah. And then you look up their profile, and you see that they have like 12 subscribers and no views. Does that affect your decision? And I'm sure it's the same for everybody, right?
Yeah. So what I do is I stick to the bigger podcasts. And then once a week, I try to pick one that, I don't want to call it a charity case, but I pick one that's a small one. Yeah. And I always want to do that because I was them at one point, right? Yeah. And I want to help them. And sometimes I'll do 2 or 3 of those in a week. Yeah. Right? Where there's also some people's events Like I'll get bombarded by people that have like an event that has 62 people at it. They're asking me to come speak, and I'm like, look, this is my rate. All my friends I speak for free, but if this person I don't know, I don't do it. But every couple times a month, I'll just go and show up, and I'll go speak at somebody's smaller event just because I want them to grow and they can leverage my audience for their events. So I really feel like you have to make it, how do I say it? When you want to get those first listeners, you have to make it very shareable content in a niche. Yeah. And then get people on your podcast that you can leverage their audience. Yeah. So if you're doing cannabis, go and get the biggest people in cannabis on your place. But if you can't get the biggest one, go get the third tier or the fourth tier. Get the guy that's doing $2 million a year in cannabis. Yeah. He still has an audience. Yeah. If you're doing e-commerce, go get this guy that's got 80,000 followers. Still has an audience. Get some of those people off your checklist so you can show, look, I had this guy that does a couple million in e-commerce. Now you try to get the big guy, right? Yeah. I had this lady that does really well in fashion. Now you try to go get the big lady in fashion. So getting those small, medium wins under your belt, it's the same thing I say in sales. I try to go get 7-Eleven, Walmart, Costco, but first I go get the local gas stations, the local car washes, the local guys, because if I get in those and say, look, I'm already in 84 stores in your area, it removes the fear of people saying no. Yeah. So if somebody told me, hey, I already had Albert and the Wolf of Wall Street and Lewis Howes on my podcast, I'm in. Yeah. Right? Yeah, that's right. Because they already had you guys. Yeah. And so if you can get some of those type of people on there, even small or medium, it'll help you get the large ones. Yeah. Now, last question, Dan. What's different from, like, for example, we have Bobby Castro. Yep. Great guy, and this guy's worth so much money, really successful, build a company to $1 billion, great man. And I know you're helping him with some things now, but this guy is he's loaded with money. And he has a great story, and he has energy and all that. So, is it really easy to build a character like that's brand new to the social media game? So the algorithm makes things harder still. Yeah. However, he's able to grow, for example, at scale because 1, he can spend money on it. 2, he can have videographers create good content. 3, he's very believable. So he has all the things on the checklist of what fans and followers would want to listen to or would want to watch. And so that's a much easier account to build. But it is still harder because of the algorithm. So you have to spend more in doing it. He's doing really good content. His son and that staff is making great. And he actually cares. His videos are good. It's passionate. He's talking about things that actually make sense to people and matter to people. So I really believe he's going to be one of the big characters in 2020. I like Bobby because he's like, wake up, man, wake the fuck up, PMA. Yeah. And he's like, I'm worth $300 million net worth, personal net worth. Wake up, work. And I'm like, damn, this guy's like intense. Like he's worth so much money, and he's telling people like, wake up and work and PMA. Yep. Like, this guy's just a natural. But like, let's say somebody that doesn't have that's limited on funds. Can you fake it? Is it good to fake it till you make it? Like maybe rent a Ferrari and take pictures and videos, or it doesn't work? Don't fake it. Yeah. The thing is, people want to buy into your story. Like when I'm talking about my story, in high school I was working 3 jobs. I was working at the stadium selling peanuts and Cracker Jacks, working at Ruby's Diner as a host, working for a stockbroker under the table, saving up money to start my company. Yeah. That's way more better of a story than me telling you, hey, my mommy gave me $3 million and I started a company, right? Yeah. What do you care about? Nobody can relate to that. Yeah. They can relate to working 3 jobs and saving up money to start a business. Yeah. And so when you're first starting, you don't need to make it look like you have a Ferrari. We want to see you build. I want to see when you get your first lease for a Ford truck, and then you get up to a Mercedes, and then you get to a Bentley. And those things happen year after year after year. That's way more compelling than you coming out of the gate and just having a Ferrari. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Cool. It's not relatable. So show your success story as you grow up and as you come up, and then when you get your new nice Mercedes, post it. And it's important also to post pictures and videos that are going to get attention, right? You want to post your real life stories, good and bad. Yeah. People are going to resonate with you way more if you're open and honest about it. When people fake the funk, it's not content that they relate to. Yeah. It's not relatable to see somebody's private jet. It looks cool. It's not relatable to see somebody have a Ferrari on day one. Yeah. We're never going to have a Ferrari. We're 22 years old in Alabama. Like that doesn't make sense. Would you say it's good to be blunt and just speak out the truth, or do you have to be kind of like careful what you say on social media? So it has to come from a place of knowledge, but also keep in mind we're in a society that's very, 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 very touchy right now. Yeah. And so you see the way, like Andy Frisella's new podcast started literally yesterday, and like his whole new thing is to speak out on things. But this guy's got a $300 million company and a lot of
Yeah.
oomph to him, and,
Yeah.
and the soldiers, and you know, when he says it with power, right?
Yeah.
If you're saying it and you're 26 years old in San Francisco right now, it's hard for us to want to get in. I always avoid. I don't do any talks about politics, religion, or sex, ever. You know why? It's impossible to win. Have you ever argued with somebody about religion and they're like, you know what? I'm going to switch. Has it
Yeah.
ever happened to you? No. Have you ever argued with somebody about politics and you're like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to switch over. I'm not Democrat. I'm a Republican today. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I don't go into battles that I have no chance of winning. It's literally 0% that you're going to win those fights. And so I just avoid those 3 topics.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Dan, the audience got a lot of value. I got a lot of value. I learned a lot of new things, and I really appreciate you, your friendship, and any closing words you want to give out to everybody that's following us. Where can they follow you and your charity and everything? We'll put it below in the comments.
Yeah, so all my social media is the exact same. It's at Dan Fleyshman, and that's important for you guys as well. Your screen name should be the same across every single platform, and your bio should be the same across every single platform, so make it easy for people to follow you. And then my charity's Model Citizen Fund. You can replicate it yourself in your own hometown, anywhere in the world. We just make backpacks for the homeless with 150 items inside.
Awesome, Dan. Appreciate you, and whatever I can do to help you with that charity, whatever, let me know, and you guys will put the information below.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Pleasure.